Hello and welcome to the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts Matt Sterling and Brandon and Michelle Brooks. We are breaking down anything and everything Utica City. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 13 of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Utica's off this week, so unless you've been paying attention to the rest of the league, you haven't heard anything much. I guess the big news from the rest of the league, Baltimore defeated twice this week at the Florida Tropics and at the winless Orlando Seawolves.
Not anymore.
Yeah, the no longer winless. Might be time to hit panic.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. For the Tropics, that one was, they're a much. I feel like they're a much stronger team this year. Just with some of the additions they've gotten. Obviously, name a couple. Lucio Gonzaga, who they just recently signed, ended up putting out 2 goals for him in that game. Gordy Gerson put 2 goals on the board. Jonatas Mello put a couple on the board. That was for Baltimore. Mello put both of them on the board for Baltimore. But Florida is not this. I feel like they're not the same team that they were last year. They were a good team last year. This year, I feel like they've kind of stepped it up a little bit. They are showing that they are a contender. Beating Baltimore was just another one of those things. I can't remember a time last year where that happened.
Yeah, Florida is 5-0. They sit atop the East. Personally, yesterday I wanted them both to lose because obviously Baltimore's the rival. I'm not going to root for them no matter what. But Florida was undefeated and in first place, and it would have brought them into a tie for first with Utica had they lost.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't exactly have both teams losing. That's not really a thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't honestly have a chance to watch the game, but it was definitely looks like it was pretty one-sided there for a little bit. Both teams scored within the first 25 minutes or so. It's like it was the only one to score in the first quarter, and then Baltimore answered with about 9 minutes in the second quarter, and then going in the half and into 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes into the fourth quarter. It was just Florida. They definitely put the pressure on them. And unfortunately, it just looks like I'm not sure what was going on with Baltimore.
No, when you look at today's stat line, I didn't catch any of the game, but if they're correct, they had their backup in goal today, Zyhofer, which makes sense since Vanzella just played yesterday.
Yep.
I assume he'll be the one playing next Saturday night at Rochester, and they'll save Vanzella for Sunday. But he only faced 7 shots and gave up 5 goals. So
doing great.
Without seeing the game, that doesn't tell the tale of the tape, but big talent drop off there.
Yeah, I would say so.
His save percentage, though.
Yeah, you're talking a 29% save percentage there. That's, that's not good.
No.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough weekend to be a Blast fan. But, it is what it is. It happens. It's unfortunate, but
Well, I'm okay with it.
Well, of course you're okay with it. Trying to be at least semi.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously Utica off this week. good time to have an off weekend. Let them enjoy some time with their families.
I think Harrisburg's off this week as well.
Harrisburg is also off. Rochester is off. So a lot of these teams that we see playing 2 games next weekend have this one off.
Mm-hmm.
The one that doesn't is Baltimore.
Yep. And they're not having a good weekend. Although going into next weekend, we've got, of course, Utica playing Baltimore Saturday night, if I remember correctly. Sunday night.
We get Harrisburg Saturday night.
Yep, you're correct. Yep. I knew I was going to mess it up. I knew I was going to switch them. We're playing Harrisburg again on Saturday, which the last time didn't end in a nice manner. But I guess the question is do we see Coughlin playing both games?
I don't think so. I think Perella's more than capable of handling the net.
See, I have one which game would he play? I personally would rather see him play the Baltimore game only because he's practiced with the Harrisburg guys so much. They might know his movements a little bit better than Baltimore does. So, they could have essentially some insight into his goalkeeping ability, and that could pose a serious problem.
Yeah, I think Paul's going to make the obvious choice, which is the one that'll put Coughlin against Vanzella and Perella facing his former team. He was only there for, I think, a year, so.
That would be the choice that I would.
And he was injured for half the season, so.
Yeah. That is kind of the obvious choice. You want your best goalkeeper against the bigger threat.
Mm-hmm.
Not to write Harrisburg off at all.
No.
Gave us a heck of a game last time, but we've always looked at Baltimore as the bigger threat, and so you want your best against the bigger threat.
So it's going to be an interesting weekend because Friday the Heat play at Rochester before coming to Utica. Saturday, the Blast play at Rochester before coming to Utica. So we're not getting either team on fresh legs.
No. Which could potentially work in our favor, too.
But let's be frank. With Rochester's performance up until now,
mm-hmm.
those teams could potentially put on a lot of their B squad.
Right.
So a lot of their main players could be pretty fresh for the main event, as if you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's nothing against Rochester. It's just going based on past performances, and we have to. Yeah, we have to make that. We kind of have to look at it. It's not looking good for them against either team. So unless something changes drastically, I could see both teams putting out, again, some of the B squad to try and keep their A team fresh.
And the last time we saw Harrisburg, they were coming off of a night game at home against Rochester. So the turnover is a little bit longer. It's 7 o'clock instead of the 7 o'clock, 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, they only have a 2-hour drive from Rochester to Utica instead of 5 hours from Harrisburg up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit different. So I could see them potentially making that trip, the same night and then just crashing at a hotel in Utica. That way it gives them more time to practice the next day. You can do it either way, but...
Yeah, they didn't have Gerger Gibson play last time.
Is he back?
Last thing I saw from him on social media was he was telling our friend Matt Huber that he will be there for the game. So.
Okay.
Any news on Tagba?
Not since I saw that Instagram story of his where it appeared to be him getting his right hand x-rayed. Hopefully it wasn't anything too serious, and I guess the one thing is, we're lucky in this sport. They don't need their hands to play the field, and we saw it last year with Joey Tavernese playing with a broken right arm.
So I was just going to say, if Joey didn't need it, Togba doesn't need it. Just duct tape it to his side, and he's good.
We saw their Christmas party the other night on social media, some of the pictures from that. I didn't see any crutches for Moy, so that's a good thing. Leads you to believe that it was more of a grade 2 sprain instead of a grade 3, nothing too serious for him.
Right.
I don't know if they'll push him back just to play it safe or have him only play one of the 2 games.
I would personally have him sit out Harrisburg and then come back at Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd want to see him play both, but in order to play it safe, I mean, you might not want him to be playing both of those. So it would definitely be, the safe bet to put him against the bigger threat. Again, put him against the bigger threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's Saturday night one. It's another Utica City After Dark where they've got that more EDM style of the goal-scoring song lined up, it looks like, from the last This Is Utica City commercial. I
mean, I kind of am semi more partial to that one, only because it kind of distinguishes us a little bit from Rochester, since they both have the same song.
Mm-hmm.
That was off-putting, but
yeah, it's weird to see. But I would say for that one, I would expect Hall to have a different game plan than the last one. I don't know if Pat Healy switches it up. His, at least what it looked like, plan was to pack the box, make Utica find and take perfect shots, and if they rushed a shot or there was a mental miscue that caused an unforced error, try to capitalize off of that. And we saw that lead to a 1-goal game for Utica to walk away with a win. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely it was like we've said before, it kind of felt like we kind of played right into what they wanted. We went hard there for a little bit, and whenever there was a mistake, they were right on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Obviously, I'm sure that they've kind of been looking at that, and they've had plenty of conversations about it. That let's figure out what we need to do to not play to their strength this time around.
And let's not start any fist fights this time either.
Yeah, I'd much rather see a nice clean game.
Yeah.
Of it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I completely got why Jake was initially so angry.
Yeah, I mean, look, you make a foul like that with, 45 seconds left, and it's a different story. Just because, okay, you're stopping the game with time left to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
2 seconds left. The best thing you can do is chip it at that point.
Also, not to get off the topic of conversation, but his birthday is tomorrow, so.
Jake?
Yep, happy birthday, Jake. Woot woot.
Happy early birthday. Woo!
Then Sunday, it's Baltimore. We know all about them, and I'm sure Danny Kelly's going to be reeling to get revenge after losing at home again to Utica.
I think the big news for Baltimore, though, is that they'll have Hoxie this time around.
Yes.
So when we last played them, he was not there, so that could be, that could be a game changer. I mean, Hoxie is he's a contributor to the team. I mean, just with their last game, I believe, he had a goal on the board. I mean, it's he delivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hoxie can make a difference. If Marco Nascimento gets cleared, that can make a difference. With any luck, we'll have Tagba, who has missed every game against Baltimore this year.
Well, yeah, suspensions usually do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, he hasn't been able to play in any of them.
But that speaks to this. We've seen it a couple times post-game is Ryan Hall kind of borrowing from what became the Yankees theme this year, next man up mentality, where, okay, so someone goes down. They signed Obasi. Raymond saw his minutes get cut, but he was the one that scored the game-winning goal. Stepped up when Moy was injured. Got a little more playing time, fresh legs. The team's deep enough they can do that.
See, that's one thing that I have noticed this season is that the team has evened out a lot, I feel. We still have our heavy contributors with Diegues. Segura had a lot of contributions for the first few games. And then as we got Obasi, things kind of, people started evening out in their contributions to the team, to the goals, to, everything. It just, we have a very solid defense, and, we also have a very well-rounded offense no matter who's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like the teams that switch out are very well balanced, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, our deck is stacked.
Diegues and Segura are both top 10 in the league in scoring. Bo's top 10 in the league in assists. I think he's kind of shifted more into that distributor position from a target forward, which is kind of weird to say, but
he's more on contribution than attack.
Yeah.
At this point.
I mean, you can tell when he gets frustrated about not getting his goal, but he's still involved in the offense.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of been more of a I guess you could call it a setup man than actually putting it away. Not in a bad way. That is not bad at all. I mean, he can still. That's the thing, is he gets the ball where it needs to be. Sometimes the person that is supposed to be getting it is not there, but he gets it right where it needs to be, and when it comes together, we capitalize.
Yeah, he's third in the league. He's still a physical player, and I say that because he's third in the league with 12 fouls, well, tied for second.
I mean,
but they haven't been blue cards. How many games last year did we see where he lost his temper for 10 seconds and it resulted in an unnecessary blue card?
He said a bad word.
He said a bad word. Bad, naughty.
Yeah. Coughlin, fifth in the league with goals allowed against at 3.75. Third in the league save percentage. He's saving 3 out of every 4 shots that get put his way.
I mean, 75% is nothing to sneeze at all.
Yeah.
It's better than Baltimore's. Boom.
Van Zell, I think, led the league in save percentage last year, whereas Lemos had goals allowed. There's no Lemos this year for Milwaukee, but Rafa has stepped up. He actually leads the league in save percentage, .845. Van Zell has been knocked down to 10th in save percentage, .674.
Yeah, it's definitely a different. It's a different layout to the league this year. It feels like. I shouldn't say a layout, but it's lay of the land has shifted, I feel, with a lot of these movements around the league and things. So it's no.
I feel like the balance has shifted.
Yes.
I guess, the thing to mention is the next time we record will be over a quarter of the way into the season. We've seen 5 games at this point for Utica. Any big surprises for you guys?
I think, probably for me, the biggest surprise has just been the Tropics at this point.
Yep.
I have to go with that. I mean, just compared to last season, they've just been so different to watch, and to just seeing them at the top of the league. I mean, it's nowhere near the team we saw last year.
No, and I think if we go back to the preseason recordings that we did, we all expected them to be good just based on who they signed, but I don't think we expected them to come together this quickly.
No, not at all. Michelle?
Just Florida. And that Baltimore lost to Orlando. There's that, too.
Yeah, upset of the year right there. I think everyone thought it was going to be Turlock over San Diego in San Diego, but Turlock has been a lot better than they have been in the past. They might be even more improved just because they brought in a few people, that not nearly as many big-name players as Florida.
Yeah, no.
That's true. Not at all.
Because, Florida took Duro, took Joey Lucio.
Ricardo Carvalho, Gordy Gers. Yeah, they brought in, they traded for Zach Reggett, reigning Rookie of the Year. Florida made a ton of changes. Turlock made a couple here and there, and it's been huge. They've kind of got a lot of guys from the Soccer's 2 team. So.
Yep.
I'd say for me the biggest surprise, Obasi.
Yeah.
He was on no one's radar at the start of the season because he was playing for Mississauga, and no one knew what their team was going to be. Then financial reasons. Then financial reasons, there's no team, which I guess leads us to the other team with financial struggles. Have you guys been following in the off the wall group about the Orlando team?
No.
So their owner has basically skipped town, deleted social media, and won't respond to calls.
Oh. Nailed it.
It appears that the league and some other team owners are stepping in to keep them solvent through this season, and then they'll try to work something out for next year. Which is why Baltimore and the Milwaukee Wave games at Orlando this weekend weren't broadcast on Massel TV.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that gets sorted out and they can continue to have a team.
Yeah, I mean, losing 2 teams this season would definitely, yet again, change the landscape of things. Could see could see some of Orlando's players definitely getting absorbed into other clubs pretty quickly. So it would definitely be unfortunate to see another team fold like that.
So hopefully, at least through the other owners and the league's going to take control of the team, that will be enough to keep them afloat here.
Yeah, at least this year. That's messed up, though. Your owner skips town, deletes social media.
It's sketchy.
Yeah.
But not going to make any judgment calls or not going to make any speculation on it. We'll find out what happened. We'll get to the bottom. The league will get to the bottom of it, and we'll know.
Yep. It'll get all sorted out here in the next week or so.
Yep.
As soon as it became apparent that Mississauga wasn't going to be able to do their 6-stadium plan, they had that sorted out and scheduling redone within a week. So
yeah. Yep, they definitely got that taken care of very quickly.
Let's just do one fun little question here before we wrap it up for this week, since there were no Utica games to talk about. Christmas is Wednesday.
Yes.
If you could get one present under your Utica City Christmas tree for the team, what would you get?
Besides the Ron Newman Cup?
Yeah, I mean, that can't be delivered until the spring.
Oh, so basically he means like now.
Hey, can't we have delayed presents? I mean, not everything arrives in time for Christmas. That's a tough one. If we're talking, soon. I would say, if we're talking right around the corner, I would definitely want to have Moy have a full recovery and be ready to go for next weekend. I think that would be a good gift, is that he's able to play, be solid, and not get injured further next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would take that.
Michelle?
Can Zuniga's visa be expedited? Like, come on now. It's been a month and a half.
Yeah, and Utica's not the only one having issues with it. I know the league has its issues, but you'd think after operating for half a decade as the MASL, at least the work sports visa issue would be taken care of a little smoother by now.
Well, Diegues was already taken care of.
Diegues, Moy, Segura.
Well,
Kobasi
I feel like
got cleaned up real fast.
Yeah. And here we are waiting on Zuniga. It's like, really?
We want to see the Rocket again.
Jesus. You ain't kidding.
God, when you add that to the mix after what we already have out there, that's going to be a very, very scary team for others to play.
Yep. All right, don't leave us in suspense.
What's yours, Matt?
So a couple weeks ago on Kick This, we heard Tommy Tanner tell us that, or at least tell the listeners, that he was working on another signing. I think, one extra player under the Christmas tree, given the tendency for injuries in this league, is nothing to overlook.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done some, I don't want to say sniffing around, but pure speculation based on what little bit we know about this mystery signing. And I would love for it to be a certain New York Red Bulls veteran player who didn't play a whole lot this last year at the MLS level at age 34. You guys know Bradley Wright Phillips?
I don't know. We're New England fans. The only person I knew was Wen.
Yeah. I can't say that I've paid too much attention to the Red Bulls. Be fair.
He had a very, very good career. He's an English footballer. He's 34, most recently played for the Red Bulls. He was released from his contract here at the end of the season. In his 195 appearances in MLS, he has 108 goals.
Wow.
Which, for MLS, that's
pretty significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the first two-time MLS Golden Boot winner. The team tried to get a little bit younger and more athletic this year, so I don't think it hurts to bring in a veteran presence that you could put on that back line, or not back line, like the third rotation.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Lucio make a ton of contributions last year. We're seeing him do it again at age 40 this year down in Florida already. Yep. And if Phillips can pick up the game quickly enough, I mean, one, it helps just from that publicity standpoint. I mean, Utica doesn't have an issue, but look at how much the league was in the news last year when Landon Donovan and Jermaine Jones came to the league.
Yeah.
And BWP played in New York, so why not keep him in New York?
Who knows?
I suppose it could be a possibility.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's a far shot, and it's completely wrong and speculation and wishful dreaming, but God damn it, excuse me, if I'm going for something under my Christmas tree, I might as well aim big.
Go big or go home. And then check the Christmas tree.
Yeah. MLS best in 2014, 2016, an All-Star in 14 and 18, Golden Boot winner in 14 and 16. Just a little bit of hardware there.
I think if I could put one more out there, not Utica related. Freddie Mugin's out with injury right now, and I would definitely like to see him, recover as soon as possible and get back on the field. I know that he's always, he's a friend of the podcast, so it would definitely be good to see him get back out there for sure. We were both trying to watch the Sidekicks game today, and we're sad to see that he was not on the field.
Mm-hmm. So we turned it off. Sorry, not sorry.
I'll throw a second one out there that kind of does a little bit more podcast-wise. We've now had, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to our social media, but we get interactions from some staff of the Utica City football team.
Yep.
One of which has even said he's just waiting for an invite to be on the show. So, since the Hurl, I guess, is getting that approved, if Lindsay Mogul is listening, our email address is uticacitypod@gmail.com, and we'd love to set something up.
Shameless plug.
Utica City Pod.
It's not Utica City Pod.
No, it's not. I am so used to it's Keeper's Corner Pod. Thank you for catching that.
That doesn't sound right.
That's what happens when you just set everything to remember me. You forget your email.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me that. Oh.
Oh God, you just broke his brain. Anyway.
It's all right. I have a VPN. It's all fine. But yeah, get a hold of us, because we'd love to have some guys on. And you've got the evidence that I believe she was the one that took the picture in Rochester of the best fans in the world. So,
yep.
In the league. Don't give us that much credit.
World League, same difference.
The league.
This is an American sports. We play teams from. This is American sports, okay? You have the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, MLB. They all have, well, except for NBA, and NFL, they all have one team in Canada. And you know what that gets us? World champions every year. So, we had a Canadian team. We've got 2 Mexican teams. Sounds like we're set to be world champions, which makes us the best league in the world.
I love his line of reasoning.
My logic might be flawed, but it sounds convincing.
It does.
At least you're adamant about it.
Look, if we're going to use this podcast for anything, why not use it to start a cult where we think we're better than everyone else?
Whoa.
Let's no. Not go that far.
Oh, fine. It's all fun and games till somebody wants to start a cult.
How many? We'll discuss that on Facebook, Matthew. Anyway.
Yeah. We hope everyone enjoys their holidays here. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, Karabatsmas, Yule, Winter Solstice, whatever it is you celebrate. Wednesday. God, I miss Wednesday. Such an easy day to celebrate. Because then you're just like, well, it's almost the weekend, time to celebrate.
Oh, day.
Don't have to buy anybody gifts, don't have to go see anyone.
Just everything's closed.
Just, yeah. See, I think you just found the holiday for a cult. It's Wednesday.
Matthew.
Drop the cult.
Anything else you guys want to add?
Just happy birthday, Drake, tomorrow.
Hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday.
Yes.
Or Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or Wednesday.
Make sure you show up to the game Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is at 7 o'clock. Sunday's back to the usual 2 o'clock slot. And, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Don't be afraid to interact, guys. We put out some keeper queries post this week to try to get some questions so we could fill time on this episode. And, yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Just throw anything. I mean, as you can tell, we're just spitballing.
Anything league related.
Yeah.
No cult.
We're not going to get into why the sky is blue.
Because Utica City's the best team and they wear blue. So Jesus was like, let's make the sky blue.
My God. All right. Anyway.
Ow.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Matt. Happy holidays.
Bye, guys.